Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. But let's start off. And could you say a prayer for Hawaii for us, Janet? And so we can feel the energy, and so we can help them release the fear, the anger, the frustration, the grief at having a 6.0 earthquake on an island.
On an island.
Where do you go?
Where do you go? Exactly.
Okay. So if we can start this morning off with a prayer, that would be
Absolutely. And we just, Creator, we open up our hearts to you to send our love and your love like a river to our Hawaiian people who are suffering after so many different losses. And this present earthquake may have shook them up, and so we want to send them the calming, soothing energy that the Hawaiian Islands send to all of us every day. May they feel that connection to their land. May they feel safe again to that connection with their land. May they know Aina is there for them. May they know that Creator is there for them. And that we are sending our loving river of energy to their hearts and souls so that they feel comforted and they feel relieved and they feel held. They feel held in our loving arms of care. And may we extend this out to our entire world, wherever there is strife, wherever there is lack, wherever there is a moment where someone is feeling alone or overwhelmed. May they feel the comforting energy of our river of love, that through you, Creator, and through all of us and all of our hearts, may we reach out with this powerful river. May we know that we can make a difference, and may we know that those folks who are needing it most right now, they can receive it with open hearts, knowing that it is safe to take in this loving energy, and that we give it completely, unconditionally. And Creator, you help us bring that river back to ourselves. Bring that river back to us. Fill up our hearts and our souls and our bodies and our lives with the infinite river of love. And in all your names, we say we are grateful, and we are whole, and we are here now. And so it is.
Amen.
Amen. And thank you so much. It's a wonderful prayer to be given on Memorial Day weekend. And I'd like to add to that we put all the service personnel in our prayers, wherever they are, that we are supporting them.
Yes.
We're not sure where they are, we're not sure what they're doing, but I want them to know that we support the military. That's one of the hardest things to talk about, is what are they doing?
Right.
When quite often they don't know.
They don't know. And you know, Dottie, I want to add to that, I'm so glad we're doing this infinity loop, because I want to honor the service people who have laid down their lives.
Oh, yes.
You know, for our freedoms. And it's for freedoms for all of us. Right? It's for all of our freedom. And whenever I've talked to military personnel, they say, I'm doing this so that we all can be free.
Right.
That's their sentiment. And that's their intention.
Right. And I'm going to be talking quite a bit about the military today.
Good.
Since it's Memorial Day weekend. And now, Joan, you have something to say.
I do. My card from the wisdom deck today says, I am here at the right time. And you know, each of us chose to be right here today on planet Earth at this time. So our job is to bring love, to bring compassion, to bring understanding, and in this confusing time. So, but you're here at the right time, and you're prepared to do this. You have the tools to do this, and each one of us has that within us to do that. A couple of other things I'd like to talk about. Next Sunday is the Psychic Fair, that the Living in Light Church is sponsoring, and we will be there after the service. We do have a table there, and we will be there. And I want Ruth to read the address so that, and it's also in CCL Insights, the time and the address. So Ruth, what is the address?
It is at the South Side Community Center in the multipurpose room on the campus. The address is 5585 Cottle Road, San Jose, California, 95123.
Okay, thank you, Ruth.
That's Cottle Road, right?
Yeah,
Cottle Road.
Cottle Road.
Cottle Road.
Cottle, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm giving a talk on past lives, exploring past lives, and you can come and hear that if you choose to. There'll be a lot of people doing readings and giving out information, and you may enjoy it and find a whole new bit of energy in this psychic fair. The last 2 years they've done it. It's been a wonderful gathering. So I invite you to participate. I think there's a small fee, but you're invited to participate. I also want to tell you about a miracle. My daughter wrote a book, my daughter Margie wrote a book called High Vibe Habits, and it's available on Kindle, and it's really quite good. It has 21 ideas to clear your mind and deal with today. So it's 21 different ideas, and it's quite good, and I encourage you to look it up and read it, and even write a review for her if you feel like it.
And what is her name?
Margie Hager, Hager, High Vibe Habits.
Okay.
And I want to tell you that I consider it a miracle because I only heard about this last week. It took her a year. She never breathed a word of it. It just goes to show what we can accomplish when we set our mind to it.
Great.
And you also can accomplish great things by setting your mind to it. So remember, you chose to be here at this time, so go forward with love and compassion and understanding.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Joan, for all that information. Yeah, and I like the card that you read. That's wonderful. Yeah, Janet.
I just want to share for our next speaker series, which will be in the second week in June on Tuesday night. We are going to have an exploration into making contact, our connection with extraterrestrials and otherworldly beings. And we're inviting you to come and join us for an open discussion. Reverend John Simmons, who many of you know, has been a reverend with UCM for many years, a delightful man, incredible man, does a lot with meditation and healing. He's had a lot of experience, and he's going to be facilitating it, and we're all going to be sharing our experiences.
That's wonderful.
So please join us for the next speaker series.
Okay, great. Great, great, great.
And he tells
Sit right there.
he tells a fabulous story about UFOs, so
Yes,
join in.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And they have pictures of flying unidentified objects in the news.
Yes.
They're just little blips, but they don't know what they are. And they were more than one. There were three that had followed the same formation across
That's
the
right.
sky. So this is so timely.
Isn't it?
And it's wonderful. And I might call in and give some of my examples.
Please,
Yeah.
please, Dottie. This is, I mean, what John and I were talking about is it came up actually at one of our CCL meetings in our discussions afterwards. And that's where it informed Corky and I to ask John Simmons, you know, because he's had some experience, but we want all of you to be able to share.
Good.
You know, please, absolutely.
That's wonderful.
where we got inspired for the topic.
Great, great. Well, so are you going to play a little bit of music for us this morning?
Absolutely. I hope I don't.
No, you're fine.
Okay. She's little, so I can. Yes. All right, so just take a nice deep breath. Just feel your body. Just feel your body and its wonderfulness, its presence on the earth. We are here in a body so that we can offer our loving energy to the world. You are here for a purpose. And as we really go to the depth of this weekend, which is about honoring our service members for all they do and for all that they are, wherever they are. And so just find your heart opening to them, to their family members and friends, and that we honor the love that is given and received. With every breath, just feel yourself sinking into the very depth of your heart. Ooh, my heart shines from my life, from every step I take, I know. My love can heal, my love reveals all that is inside my soul. And I hold open the door to all I can be. And all I can be is here with you, and you and I. We become we dance in the sunlight, in the moonlight, and we know we see all the deepest heart's expressions, and we show, we open up, we open up. Open up our arms to the world. We open up, we open up, we open up, and we are
wonderful. I like feeling we are loved. That's a good feeling. I look around at all these smiling faces and I can feel all the love, and it's great to be here today. And we're going to be celebrating Memorial Day weekend. Everyone here in the house and all of you out there, please just take a moment to join me, Zooming with us today. We are so glad you're here. Tomorrow is Memorial Day, and for many people it means a day off work, family gatherings, barbecues, shopping sales, or perhaps the unofficial beginning of summer. And there's certainly nothing wrong with enjoying the day. Rest is holy too. So if you want to do something exciting, take a day off tomorrow and rest. But I wonder, how are you really going to celebrate your day off? Will it simply be another busy Monday? Or will there be a moment, even a small moment, when you pause, remember that this holiday was born from sacrifice? Originally known as Decoration Day after the American Civil War. And I want to read you, most people don't even remember what Decoration Day was about. In Charleston, South Carolina on May 1st, 1865, only weeks after the Civil War ended, thousands of newly freed African Americans gathered at the Washington Race Course, a former wealthy planter's horse racing track that Confederates had turned into a prison camp for captured Union soldiers. At least 257 Union prisoners died there from disease and exposure and were buried in a mass grave. Freed black Charlestonians exhumed and reburied them respectfully, marking the graves in rows. They built a fence and an arch over the burial ground with the words, "Martyrs of the Race Course." Then on May 1st, about 10,000 people came in procession. Children carried flowers, ministers prayed, hymns were sung, scriptures were read, the graves were decorated with flowers. Black Union troops, including members of famous black regiments, marched around the cemetery. The cemetery was not only about grief, it was a public declaration. These soldiers died for freedom, and the newly freed people would remember them.
Wow.
And that was Decoration Day, and it started on May 1st. And now we're celebrating it at the end of the month because Congress said we should have a 3-day celebration. This came after they changed the name to Memorial Day. What makes it so powerful is who did the remembering. These were people who had recently been enslaved. They had little money, little political power, and uncertain protection. Yet they performed a sacred act. They took neglected bodies out of a mass grave and gave them dignity. Names were possible: order, prayers, flowers, and honor. And we can read about the Memorial Day weekend, but they don't say much about how it started with Decoration Day. And I want to bring that in because they talk about regiments, but there were black regiments. They came down from the north to celebrate those 200 and some odd people that were buried in a mass grave. So it's very interesting for me to add that to why we celebrate Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Dottie.
Yeah.
Thank you for that
I've
beautiful
always heard the
description.
two terms, Memorial Day and Decoration Day, and I'm going,
The Decoration Day became Memorial Day.
Right.
yeah.
But underneath all the flags and ceremonies, there is something intensely human. Every soldier was somebody's child, brother, wife, husband, friend, frightened 19-year-old, somebody's baby, no matter how old they were. When I speak about having a relative who was a drummer boy during the American Revolutionary War, I'm touching something very important spiritually. A drummer boy was often just a child. Children carried messages, kept marching rhythm, and sometimes walked directly into battlefields filled with fear, smoke, confusion, and death. Yet, generations later, Frank Tucker, that was the name of my great-grandfather, still lives because someone in the family kept telling the story.
Mm.
He lived until he was 99 years plus 11 months. And he kept saying, I don't want a party, I don't want a party. So he died before his 100th birthday. And I was lucky enough to have known him. Although I was 10 when I met him, he never shared his lemon drops with me. He was a little guy. I was about 5 inches taller than he was. And he had this little suit on, and he had a watch pocket. And in it he had lemon drops. And I said, can I have one? And he said, no, and slapped my hand. It was right there in his watch pocket.
Indelibly imprinted on your mind.
A cute anecdote. My grandmother was 81 years old when she was purchasing an airline ticket to fly to North Carolina. The ticket agent asked her if she needed someone to accompany her to the gate. She said, oh, no, thank you. My father's here to help me. And at 81, she looked 95, But that was Frank Tucker. He was there flying with her to the Carolinas. That is what family lore really is. It's not just genealogy. It's spiritual continuity. Families once preserved memory through kitchen tables, porches, church gatherings, old photographs, folded flags, recipes, stories, and repeated names. A grandfather would say, your uncle served in the Pacific. Your aunt waited for letters every day. Your great-grandmother lost 2 brothers, and children learned. We belong to something larger than ourselves.
I remember you tell that story about your mom killing a rattlesnake because it was.
Oh yes,
defeating
my mom, when we lived in Lancaster, we lived out in the fields, and my mom went to get the mail, and there was a rattlesnake wrapped around the mailbox, and she just said, "Oh no, I'm going to get my letter from my husband who's in the Pacific," and she got out the jack handle and beat the rattlesnake to death. So she could get a letter. Keep it. Every name etched onto a military stone marker once belonged to somebody's child, sweetheart, parent, best friend. Someone who laughed with them, worried about them, waited for them to come home, and many never did. Sometimes in our modern world, where families are scattered emotionally, politically, spiritually, generations no longer sit together telling stories. We begin to lose the family lore of our heroes. The old photographs fade or stay trapped in phones. Many younger people know almost nothing about their ancestors beyond a few names, with most becoming unfamiliar and stories disappear. Yet Spirit teaches us something important. No soul is ever truly forgotten. Love remembers. And that's why I started talking about my dad, my mom getting the letters from him, and my great-grandfather, who was a drummer boy. Just to remind us of what Memorial Day is. It's about remembering those of our ancestors who were in the service. It's not an abstract idea floating in history books. Freedom has always had a human cost, whether one agrees with every war or not. The people who served were still human beings who believed they were protecting something: home, family, duty, survival, each other, or simply hope itself. They were trying to help. And there is another truth many people quietly wrestle with today. Are we still truly free? That is a fair spiritual and philosophical question. People worry about division, anger, propaganda, economic stress, loneliness, loss of trust, and whether society still honors sacrifice. Many wonder if the ideals people died for are weakening. But perhaps Memorial Day is not asking us to blindly glorify war. Perhaps it is asking us, What kind of world are we creating with the freedom others paid for? Think about that. The Second World War was horrendous. And then we had the Korean battle, and we had all the other wars since then have felt not like the whole country was involved, just the people who were fighting it. So perhaps Memorial Day is not asking to blindly glorify war. Perhaps it's asking that what kind of world are we creating with the freedom others paid for? Think of that. Think of all the people that helped us get where we are. That changes the conversation completely. The deepest honoring of the fallen may not be endless patriotism. It may be living consciously. And Corky, what do we have on the screen?
I was reading, I'm sorry.
Okay. It may be living consciously, living kindly, protecting one another, building communities where young people must die in violence, using freedom responsibly, telling the truth, preserving compassion. Compassion is one of the greatest gifts we have. To feel compassionate about people who are at war anywhere in the world. Tomorrow is a day to think of them and to pray for them. And then there's your own story, Reverend Corky. You said your stepfather helped raise you, and after you left home, he died. And now you don't know where he's buried. That carries sorrow in it. But spiritually speaking, love is not erased because a grave is unknown. Many people throughout history never had marked graves. Soldiers lost at sea, victims of war, the poor, travelers, pioneers, children, people forgotten by records but not forgotten by spirit. A burial place helps the living focus memory, but the soul itself is not confined there. I love that. The soul is not confined by where they're buried.
Well, we know that.
And you can reach them by prayers.
Yeah.
In many spiritual traditions, remembrance itself becomes the memorial.
That's right.
You remembering him or her now, wondering about them now, speaking of them, is already an act of honoring. Sometimes the most sacred memorial is simply this: I remember that you existed. You mattered to my life. Part of who I am came through you. This is no small thing. And perhaps that is what Memorial Day is truly trying to teach us. Not to worship war, but to remember human beings. All of our sacrifices, and to remember there is a connection to every person in the world. We think that, oh, well, I'm connected to everybody in San Jose. Yeah, you're connected to everybody in California. You're connected to everybody in the United States. You're connected to everybody in the world. Think of that today. The people who are at war, the people who have problems in their life, you're connected to them. So tomorrow, do some prayers. Pray for the people. The history is not made of strangers, it's made of relatives. Someone's drummer boy, a mother, a father, a stepfather. Someone loved them all. Even if they no longer know where someone is buried. Even if we never knew the whole story. Memorial Day is not really about glorifying war. It is about honoring devotion, courage, service, and deep human willingness to protect others. Even at great personal cost. It costs a lot to sit down tomorrow and remember all the people in your family that you knew. And even if you just knew their name, remember all the people in your family. And then remember all your friends who have died. We were going through that yesterday, Corky and I. And these were not people that fought in the war. But these are people we remembered. We remembered April. And we remembered Rita. And we just started remembering people. And we had a list of 25 people that had already died. Some were younger than us. Some are older. But they've gone. Gratitude for those who served, who carried grief afterward, for the freedoms we still possess, for another sunrise or another breath. A chance to love each other better than we did yesterday. Just remember the people that died in part of your family. And some of you have lost both of your parents.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big loss. And losing members of your family, like I lost my brother. But when you think about that, I've lost 3 brothers, but my Bart was my closest one. But think of all the people you've lost, and put them in prayer tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And I would offer, Dottie, that we put ourselves as grieving people in that prayer too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right?
Yes. Very good. And perhaps tomorrow the greatest celebration is not found in fireworks or hamburgers, but in gratitude. Gratitude for those who served, who carried forward for the freedoms we still possess, for another sunrise or another breath. A chance to love each other better than we did yesterday. So tomorrow, enjoy your family, rest, laugh, eat good food, and call someone you love.
Mm.
And just call somebody to say, would you light a candle? Say a prayer. Tell a story. Speak aloud the name of someone who mattered, because when we remember with love, Spirit lives on.
Mm.
Think about that. When we remember somebody with love, Spirit lives on. How long has it been since you went to a cemetery and placed flowers on a grave? Do you know where your family's veterans are buried? Think about that. Do you know where your family's records are buried? Their records are their body. That's what they left behind. And a lot of people have urns on the fireplace that have the ashes of the people who died. And some of you have just put them somewhere. My mother's still in the
Can't be in the trunk of your car.
Still
Your car is gone.
No, they're still in a trunk in the air in the house. But just think of the people who died, and then think of the people who died in the wartime. A lot of the young men and some young women were called in when they didn't want to go, but they felt like they had to. So honor them, honor their energies, and honor yourself. Honor yourself tomorrow for being alive and telling the story to anybody you want to talk to. And call up somebody and say, hey, I wanted to call and talk about April, or I wanted to call and talk about Helen, or I wanted to call and talk about whoever that they know.
Mm-hmm.
Almost everybody you know shares a gift of being related or knowing the person you're talking about. So do that. Let's get the whole energy of people who've passed on up and moving. And now you do that by talking about them. And I want to take this time to ask anybody in the room who they would like to think about tomorrow. And Janet, who would you like to think about tomorrow?
Well, I really want to honor my grandfather who fought in World War I, and my father who fought in World War II, Korean War, and my mother who fought in World War II.
Wow.
So I come from a veteran family, and I'm very proud of it.
Yes.
So I really honor those 3 people in my life.
Yeah.
Tricia has her hand up.
Yes.
Okay, Tricia. Let's see.
Oh, hi. My dad was a Marine in the Marine Corps, so
Well,
definitely, definitely.
thank you so much for that. What was his name?
Oh, uh, Joseph Cokes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and anybody here?
My great grandfather, um, who I never met, he died in World War One, and my father, who was in the Korean War.
Oh my gosh. Yes, John, do you have anybody?
Well, both of my husbands served in the Navy, and they had special assignments and were not in at a wartime, uh, a time of war. But nevertheless, they had important assignments of keeping the military prepared and ready, and that is an important function as well as being on the front line in the battle zone.
Okay, Arlene Dean. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Arlene. Let's see.
Arlene.
Lower hand. Arlene. Arlene? Where'd you go?
There I am. Ah, I'm here. So
Wait a second.
I have to make one, forgive me, Dottie, but this is kind of sliding into Veterans Day.
Yes.
Memorial Day specifically was designed to honor people who'd given their lives in wartime, given their lives, or even veterans who gave their lives and it wasn't wartime, but initially it was with those fellows, and mostly they were fellows back in those days, that were buried at that race course in the Carolinas. That you detailed that, and it's kind of, I come from a family of veterans, and I had two sons who are both veterans of foreign wars, and who served in the military between the two of them for 24 years. So they, I have to say, from a current veterans family point of view, the veterans that are walking around here today get a little annoyed when people want to confuse the 2 days, and so that's the only reason that I brought it up. They really would, Veterans Day is one thing. Say thank you to everybody who served. Memorial Day, say thank you to everybody who gave their life,
Right.
so that you could remain free.
Yeah.
That being
Yeah,
said,
there is.
I have just one other thing, and that is simply that, having said all of that, I'm going to sort of renege a little bit and say, on the other hand, I want everybody to remember all of the people coming back from all of the wars in the last 50 years with PTSD, because part of them died.
Yes.
And a lot of them show that they are just walking dead still.
Yes.
And a lot of them have been able to fight back to some semblance of living, but who they were before they went in and fought that war, pretty much that person died. So anyway, when you're thinking of everybody, send them all love.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Arlene.
So now we have Donna Christensen. Thank you so much, John.
Hi, I'm definitely going to honor my father's brother, Uncle Ronnie. He was Roderick C. Freeman, and he was in the Korean War, and he was in a foxhole and had a struggle with a Korean soldier, and he killed the soldier, but he got out of the foxhole and collapsed, and they took him to the hospital, and he was unconscious, and they couldn't figure out why. He had been shot, but it was a non-lethal, shot. It didn't kill him, but they finally discovered that when he got out of the foxhole, he was bitten by a mosquito and quickly developed encephalitis.
Oh my God.
So he survived, but he was left with a seizure disorder and Tourette's.
Oh my
And it
God.
was very difficult for me to grow up and be with him because we would be in church. And if his Tourette's took off, he'd be uttering a plethora of curse words. So it was very, we'd go to a restaurant if he had an attack. I was always on the edge of my seat, worried, that I was going to be embarrassed, by his affliction. And he ended up, he married and his wife cheated on him.
Oh,
And
gee.
so he left her and he ended up spending the rest of his life in a VA nursing home. And he was just the sweetest man. And his life was really lost in the Korean War.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I honor Uncle Ronnie.
Yeah.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you so much,
Thank
Donna.
you.
And Donna and Kevin, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Okay,
Oh, whoop.
you're on, guys.
Hi. Sorry.
You're all right.
I'm having trouble with all the buttons.
I know, huh? I'm right behind you there.
My great uncle lost his life in the Battle of the Bulge
Mm.
on January 25th in 45. And there was a picture of his grave hanging on my grandmother's wall, my great grandmother's wall, that I can remember as far back as I can remember going to her house and always seeing that on the wall. And in 2017, I had the opportunity to go to Belgium, and I was able to find his grave and bring back pictures of it along with flags that I took with me. And then he had a younger son who went to Vietnam and came back from Vietnam, but he couldn't live with it. And so even though I never actually knew either one of them, I've kind of been connected to at least him from early childhood, and then I learned about his younger son. So I kind of think about both of them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
sharing that.
Yes,
thank you.
Kevin.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And let's see who else. Get the gallery. Get the gallery. Come on, get the gallery there. Anybody else have? Okay, so now we go to
Jan Jan.
Jan. Excuse me, let me get my in the gallery. Gallery. Got it. That's not the one I wanted. Just get over here to Jan. Anyway. Okay. You want to pin this? Move.
You do such a wonderful job, Corky.
Ah.
That's multitasking.
Thank you.
You are amazing.
Okay, there you go, Jan. You big. You have anything to say?
Oh, I thought you had your hand raised.
Hi
No.
there, Mary Berry.
Hello there. You know, it's kind of ironic that we're talking about this because I had this thing of my father's. It's a frame with glass and it has all these war buttons and flags and things that you pinned on, and he didn't talk to me a lot about war, but I know he went, and I know he said he was in the islands, the Pacific Islands, and he was in war over there, and it was a lifetime member of the VFW club, and he would always go there, and it was the good old boys club back then.
Yeah.
And so I just remember smelling beer and coloring in the corner, but my dad was in the war, and it was important to him, and he truly believed he fought for freedom, and he saw a lot of things that weren't good, and I think that's what closed him down a whole lot. And I don't think war is good for anybody. I think it's really a horrible thing, and I've protested it, every single one, because I don't like them. I think.
Well, on the other hand, but by the same token, if someone were attacking your family, because this is what people think, it's like they're attacking my
Well,
family.
unfortunately, it hasn't been attacking us. I mean, we
Well,
go places.
This is a different thing, yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, I'm thinking about my father, and his picture frame was next to me on the couch because I was going to put it in a different place. But this morning I saw him, and I was looking at all the stuff. So
Yeah.
Oh, great.
and all of his brothers and his father and all of them were in wars, and my mom's father got gassed in World War I, and he died before I got to. He died when my mom was a child, and so John Shutt was his name, and I never got to meet him. But as a kid, we used to go and clean off his grave every Memorial Day, and so.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a.
I have a whole lineup of people here, that are veterans. So.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else have anybody?
Well, I just want to re-emphasize, and I know it's been said a couple of times, but honoring all of you as family members and friends, and honoring post-traumatic stress. Honoring post-traumatic stress.
And the suicides that are.
And the suicide, exactly. And when we honor that, and for me, it's always a reminder to give people grace, right? To give people grace. And when we had actually a thing on the speaker series with veterans, we had a veterans panel, which was quite wonderful if you get a chance to look at it. And we asked the question, how can we honor you? And they said, just acknowledge our service. You don't have to go over the top. But every time they hear a positive, right, it might help them. I mean, PTSI, my father had PTSI. It really informed how he was a father, and I'm sure it contributed to his death. And about all of those medals, when every time we went to the dentist, he would give us one of his medals.
Oh, no.
Wow. Of course we lost them as children. How children bury things and then you never find them again. And it's like he didn't want the medals, so he actually gave them to us.
You get rid of it.
And then I, of course I lost it, and I just think about that. And my father was awarded the Bronze Star, which for his work in Europe. And my uncle was a survivor of the Bataan Death March.
Well, because it's going to be Ruth's turn next.
Oh, sorry, Ruth.
What?
I'm sorry. I was
just
throwing
It's chill.
Yeah, that was interesting. Sure.
Fascinating.
I've just been. So Jan said PTSI. There's a new thing, and I also prefer if someone has PTSD, but that's childhood bullshit. Post-traumatic stress injury as opposed to a disorder.
Thank you.
And so that's what Jan meant. So that, and if you read The Body Keeps the Score, it actually mentions that, and it's actually very good. So, but anyway, part of what I wanted to say was remembering just like you don't have to have a specific memory or a specific person. You can tap into the energy of the tragedy of war, because even when you're going into war for a good reason, like World War II, we knew we were the heroes then, right? That it's still a tragedy because so many people die and civilians die, and it's just a lot, right? And I also wanted to mention having compassion for our military now, because a lot of people who are in the military, they're with the current political climate, a lot of them are really upset with how the military is being handled.
Yes.
And they're kind of like stuck, and there's just this tension just this tension, and even when so you can be against war, and you can be even against what's going on right now with how our military is being used, but still be pro for the people in the military.
Yes.
Because they deserve to be treated humanely and fairly. Yes. And they deserve to be utilized in a humane and fair fashion.
Yes.
And so one of the things that we can do that would, because I swear, a lot of people who have gone before sacrificed so much are probably rolling in their graves about what's going on. So just keeping that distinction and keeping the humanity and praying that our military will be used appropriately, because of course we need a defense, of course we need a military, but we also need to use it right. And we need to have
Thank you so much, Ruth.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, and my pop was a cop, and he'd been in the service, and he was, I can remember every summer we would go to Refugio Beach and spend a couple of weeks there. And one year we camped right next to this German family. I mean, very, they spoke very, not very much English. Anyway, but we really bonded with them, and Pop and the other dad was, they were in the war at the same place at the same time.
Oh,
Wow.
As enemies, right?
Yes.
And they would sit by the campfire all night long and talk about the war. And they just got along famously. And the mom would fix, the German pancakes, and the kids, all of us kids would play and swim together and everything. And everything was, you think, why can't it be like that?
Yes.
Just why can't it be,
Exactly.
We're humans, so we have a lot in common, right? And then it would be, but he didn't talk much about the war to us. He never talked about the war to us. And I can remember that as a cop, it was right during the civil rights stuff, and he'd come home all bloodied up and beaten up, and I don't know, he was, but he'd go back to work the next day.
Yeah.
I love the fact that the Buddha is looking right over your shoulder when you were talking.
That's what I was noticing too.
And then my uncle, who I thought was my brother, for the longest time.
Right.
And he was in the army. And when he would come home, and he was a very good looking guy, and he was a color guard. So and he went to Greenland. He was he went to different places. But anyway, and he was really tall. So just imagine this. Here, me as a grade school kid, I would put on his pants and his shirt and his boots and all of this stuff, and march around the front yard like I was with all
hilarious.
These clothes on. I'm way too big for him. He was slender, but he was tall, and they let me do it, so I guess it was okay. And I'd have some sort of a little rifle thing, and I'd just been doing my part for the war, I guess.
You were contributing your energy.
Yeah, and
that's great.
Yeah, so I don't know. The men in my family did participate in the war, and they never talked about it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what they did. Yeah. Alrighty, let's get on to. Oh, I'm gonna wing this around. Anybody else out there want to raise their hand? Anybody in here? Anybody? Okay.
Steven.
I'll go.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Mel. We didn't see you.
We didn't see you.
Oh, and Trisha. Okay, so let's go gallery. Let's go Mel.
Yeah, I just like to remember Uncle Jerry, who I was kind of like his little twin when I was a kid. He always, every picture of him and me when we were in the same town, I was holding his hand. I was this little, 2 3 foot kid holding a 6'1" person. His childhood pictures and my childhood pictures looked identical. But he was in the Vietnam War, and he actually died in 2002 from Agent Orange exposure. So, so even though a lot of people didn't die in the war, a lot of people died from the war.
They sure did.
Right.
And
Thank
he
you,
left
Mel.
behind, I think, two little kids. Well, they were young adults by then, but and unfortunately, they're suffering from the Agent Orange exposure. Evidently, passed through his genes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so just, I'm gonna let, thank you very much, Bill, and I'm gonna let Trish say a little something, cause it's just about time for us to go. Love you,
Thank
Bill.
you. Love you guys.
Talk to you later.
Thank you, Bill.
Love
Bye
you.
now. Love you.
Love you.
Okay, and a pin to there. Bye, babe. Pin there. Okay, Trish.
I'm raising my hand because I didn't hear the question originally before people started talking on Zoom. I didn't hear the last question for reasons why we need to.
I had asked,
What did you ask?
we asked if anyone had anybody in their family that would have been in the service.
Oh, yeah. Well, I already said. Yeah.
Yeah, great,
Yeah.
great.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Bill.
Now we're going to take a collection,
Yes.
and
Thank you.
Joan, if you want to pass a basket.
We're passing the basket to benefit CCL and all the people that they support and help.
Zill.
And, you know, there's many ways to give and support
That's right.
CCL. There's Zelle, there's changes, checks coming in, and
we accept checks.
And
cash.
And cash, we love cash. And this enables CCL to stay alive and well and help people throughout the community. You know, the message is to love one another, to heal the sick, and feed the poor. And so that's one of the messages that we try and give out. And so we bless these donations today and all those that come in and give thanks for that. And remember that regular giving creates regular receiving. So have a good week, everyone. A prosperous, wonderful week.
Yay.
Thank you so much, Joan.
Thank
you.
Joan.
Joan, that was wonderful.
Oh.
And I'd like to leave you all with this. Think about the people you knew who were in the service and send them love.
Yes.
And then think about the people you know now that are in the service and send them love, because it is so important that they know that they're being loved and looked after by people here in their community that they've left. So just think about people that you know, people that you don't know, and pray for the people that are in this service.
And I remember how the veterans were treated after Vietnam.
Oh, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
It was horrible.
And my brother-in-law, Bryce, was in Vietnam, and Donna's husband, Zeke, was in Vietnam. And just talking to them and getting a feeling of what it was like. And Keith Smith, he was in Vietnam.
He was in
How about
Vietnam.
the people that died protesting the wars?
Yes, and that's
absolutely.
another one, the people who died protesting the war. Just think about, just take a brief moment. You don't have to take all day tomorrow, but it would be better if you did. To say this is a day that we're honoring those people who have gone to war. Some of them were drafted, some of them did it willingly, and some did it because there was nothing else to do in their life. But for whatever reason they went, let's put them in our prayers. The men and women who have been part of the service, not just the ones who died there, but the ones that are still in the service. Remember them. Put them in your prayers.
We remember you. We love you. We remember you. We love you. We remember you. We love you.
with that.
And thank you so very much for joining us today. And you have a great tomorrow. But remember, think about somebody that you know that has been in the service. And pray for them, whether they're still in the service or they died in the service.
Yep.
Love them. They need your love.
Okay, everyone.
Thank you so very much for joining us.
So love you.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Bye.
See you later. Ciao.
We love you.
We